Hello. Woo!
Hi, everybody. I am in my kitchen living room working on the computer. I'm a graphic designer, so I'm lucky to work from home. And yeah, so I just got done running. I usually drop the kids off at school and make sure I get my run in, and then I get back here to work. It's 1:30 in the afternoon. Yeah, so not quite the night, but well, I moved here 21 years ago. I grew up in New Jersey, and I did mostly all the same sports that I do now. Yeah, I was a trail runner there and mountain biked. And when I came to visit Hawaii on a vacation, I just knew that this was the place for me, that I could do it all year round.
That's awesome.
Well, I kind of had a plan because I worked in New York City in advertising, and they wanted me to go to Minnesota to set up an agency there. So I kind of pared down a lot of my stuff and kind of knew that that was going to be the next leap after that. So it was kind of like it got me halfway across the country.
Right.
Yeah, that's how that went. But yeah, never regretted it, and yeah, it's a great place to be for me.
So,
So.
do you live like right by a trail? Like, what's a typical day of running look like for you?
Well, our island's fairly small, and so there are lots and lots of trails. They all seem to kind of be around the same. They're all technical, lots of rocks and roots, mostly muddy, although we've had some dry conditions lately. Through the summer, we had really dry, almost drought conditions. So it gets a little bit dusty, but you still have those big roots to contend with. And um, yeah, I live in Kailua, so we have a pillbox trail that's right, steps from my house. It's only about a couple 100 feet high, but you could go up and down and the other side of it, of this mountain in back of us. But then you get to the bigger mountains on the Ko'olau mountain range, and then on the west side, it's a Waianae mountain range. So
Oh my!
there's lots of vertical to be had.
So, is that a kind of running that you like to do? Is going for a lot of
Yeah,
vert?
I love it. I love it. I have to, yeah. I just started a challenge on my own because I'm a race director, and we did a vertical challenge that ends today. But that's my normal run is to go up, probably see to summit and head up to the top of a mountain and see a view, and head back down and go to work. And it just evens me out as a mom, and all over, trail therapy, as we all know. So um, yeah,
How old are your kids?
I have twin 8-year-olds, boy and a girl, and I have a 13-year-old boy.
Oh,
So
fun. Do they
yeah,
run?
they do actually. They've put in, since COVID, a lot of trail time, and they love to be on the trails. So they, I think my 13-year-old has done two 5Ks, so not racing, but they just love the outdoors. So I'm so happy for that.
Yeah, and I noticed that your website was something, I forgot what it was. Something like love outside or outside is
Oh yeah, outside rocks. I have apparel. running related apparel that's, got the Hawaii side of it. And then I have my graphic design business as well. So, but that's just my fun site, my outlet for designing running things,
Yeah.
Hawaii. So
Well, it sounds like a really great life to live, and
yeah,
I love artists. I can see that you're very creative, and everything
yeah.
that that I've seen that you've done is beautifully done.
Yeah, I know you do a lot of the same. And it's like when you're out on the trail, so many different ideas come, color combinations, whatever it is, you get a lot of inspiration. That's why I like to run in the morning and kind of get my head clear, and projects seem to come more easily. But yeah, it's working out so far. So
And I noticed that you do a lot of races in Hawaii. And I think that a lot of our listeners aren't really aware. Like you do a lot of 50Ks and and also like 7 mile races. It looks like. What are a
yeah.
couple of your favorites?
So when I first got here, the big team is the Hawaii Ultra Running Team, and they have the Hurt 100. And so, yeah, early days I kind of teamed up with them, and they have a Hurt Trail series. And John and PJ, who came up with the Hurt 100, he did Western States, probably one of the first ones that were held. And so he came up with Hurt 100 and now started a trail series, which goes from basically January to October. And there's a race every month. So he since, as he got older, he just handed it off to different people. So I have June's race, which is Mango Madness. So we have ones that they start about from 7 miles and they do go up to 55 miles. And that goes, that will bring you straight into Hurt 100, which of course is a lottery. So not everybody gets into that, but anybody can go up to the 55 miler, which is nice. We get a lot of first time trail runners starting the first one. It's on a relatively rolling, fun course, fewer routes, and they kind of bring you up through this ridge. So you get a little bit of, different kind of running, but it starts out really mellow and progressively gets longer and harder. So
Oh, that's really cool. And I kind of missed this. What's the 50 like? So if someone was going to do the Hurt 100, I
yeah,
hear of so many people that come out there to do the Hurt 100, really solid runners here, and then
yeah,
it's hard. It's
yeah,
different
it's
than
hard.
what we do. What like
Yeah.
which one of those races, like maybe the 55 mile or a different one, would be a good build up for them?
Well, anything close is the 55. If you do Hurt, you do the 55 miler. Yeah, it's a ton of vert. It's very hot. Lots of people drop from that one. It's a good one to do. It's a good test. Good way to dial in nutrition. But you get the whole climate, and that's what a lot of people are coming from the winter, and they're coming, to Hurt. And that coupled with many other things that I've seen over the years, because I've paced every year, you know, can lead to not finishing. But yeah, obviously tons of people do finish. So it's just managing all that.
Have you got to do that race, the Hurt?
I signed up for the first time last year. I was a pacer every year. I sometimes pace 2 loops. I volunteer. I basically sleep in my car the whole weekend. I'm a dedicated pirate at Pirates of Paradise. It's one of the 3 aid stations that has a theme, and it's super fun. And if you ask any runner that's run Hurt, it's the volunteers that get you through, and we're there for them. I mean, our emotions are on the line. Just we want them to finish. And so this last year, I had done a year ago, I had done the Squamish 50-50, 50 miler on one day, 50K the next for my 50th birthday. And that went so well. I mean, I couldn't have had a better weekend. So I said, hey, it's running into Hurt training time. So I did the 55 miler. That was perfect. And then I went into the Hurt 100. Unfortunately, I only finished 80 miles. I wasn't allowed to go on to the last loop, but I for my first 100 miler, and it was, definitely tough. I'm not discouraged. So I'm not a 100 miler junkie, but I'll definitely try for next year. It's not going to be held 2021, but crossing fingers for 2022.
Yeah. So you'll have
So
to go through the lottery again.
I have to go through the lottery. They do it by, Kukui nuts. So I'm a race director. I volunteer on the trails. So hopefully that's weighs on my side. I had so many saved up because I've basically, dedicated so many years to her as an organization. So I'm hoping that the lottery gods are good for me for the next one.
Well, thank you for all your years of dedication to that.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
truly, the volunteers for any race, I mean,
That's for
they
sure.
just would not be happening without you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
I also want to say it brings a lot of people here. I live on Oahu, brings a lot of people here, and I've taken countless people on the Hurt Loop. I've become friends with people. We've gone other places, maybe that a couple days later they say, "Oh, can we go somewhere else?" And one of my favorite things, I do have a running group with 1,400 members. One of my favorite things is just to take people visiting and show them aloha, show them the trails, show them places they would not have seen. And yeah, they go home and it's an awesome memory. So yeah, and Facebook allows us to connect and do all that. So I get random messages and it's just really fun, really fun.
That's really cool because I went to Hawaii, not the same island, and I had a hard time figuring out where to run at.
Yeah.
And it would have been great to know of a Facebook page to go to and hook up with some locals. What's the name of your Facebook page?
On Oahu, you would go to Soul Runners Hawaii. Soul Runners Hawaii, but it's SOUL.
And is there a regular group run that you guys do that they could show up to, or just reach out on the page?
Before COVID, we did a Friday run around Tantalus. It's a 10-mile road loop that basically goes, 1,700 feet up, and then you come down the other side, and it's on the road. But it really brought a lot of people together. And of course, since COVID, we have restrictions. We can't gather for more than 5 people here in Hawaii.
Okay.
So it's pretty strict, but it's kept our numbers down. So we just have not, pushed that at all. But as soon as we, get going here, that we'll have that again. But it's a great way for people to say, "Hey, I'm going to run this trail. Does anybody want to?" Or just to connect.
And how fun for you guys to get to meet people and
I love it. Yeah, it's great. We have friends all over the world, really, and
yeah,
we have
with
a
the
lot of
same
military
passion.
here. Yeah, yeah. We have a lot of military members here, so and they're constantly moving around. So you may have a friend here and they leave and they go to Germany, and how great, is it that you get to go visit and do a race there and meet, see your friends. So I just feel like this is such a funnel for people going in and out. So
Well, yeah, you're very lucky. The pictures that I see you post where you're like way up and you're like looking at the ocean, which trail is that you're on?
there, any trail that leads up, I'm usually on the Ko'olau mountain range. It's basically on the east side of the island, but it does go all the way up to the northeast side. It kind of curves up. And if you run a trail and you go, you can see an amazing view. Obviously, if it's cloudy and the wind and the clouds are coming up the mountains, it's equally as beautiful. You don't have a view, but to see those clouds coming up the cliff face is amazing. So I always say it's always different. It never gets old, and it's always different. So
That's
um, yeah, I have a few favorites, but yeah, basically any trail has some kind of appeal.
so if somebody was coming, is it hard to find your way around? Like if you were coming from out of town, or do you have a suggestion for them besides joining the Facebook page?
It's really not hard. I got when I first moved here, I got the Hiker's Guide to Oahu, and that basically has every trail that you could ever think of. And the author's name is Ball, and it really goes through and tells you if it's a beginner trail and what to look for. And I think he's updated it every year. So I might suggest that, and just kind of read the description, see what you're into. Do you like lots of routes? Do you want to get to a waterfall? I mean, do you want to get to some kind of summit? Yeah, I would suggest that probably.
And if they describe it as hard, I'm guessing that you should believe that that really
Yeah.
means hard.
I I climbed the highest peak this last Saturday. We went from sea to summit though, so we ran from the beach, and it's just over 4,000 feet, and it said hard, and I run up a lot of hills, and I'm like, this isn't so hard, and I'm like, yeah, it's steep, but it's not so hard, and then you get to the last mile, and you're clinging onto the side of a mountain, and then you had to go over these boulders, which if you look to the right, you were gonna fall down to your death, and then it had this constructed ladder built into the rock, and then you're stepping your foot as high as you can onto the slippery rock, and you're like pulling onto trees in the left and the right. But of course, when you get up there, you're like, oh, that was fine, just to see this. But that was Mount Koala. That's on the Waianae side, and that's on the other mountain range on the west side. So, but I would definitely suggest that. But that said hard, but I think if anybody just took it slow and you're conditioned, you could make it. But it was pretty incredible.
And do you go down the exact same way?
You go down the same way, but honestly, I think the down is easier.
Okay.
Yeah, because like it's very slippery coming up and you're pulling, but for some reason you can kind of see, if anybody's ever mountain climbed, like it seems like you just back your way down and it's fine. But yeah, you definitely have to be accustomed to the more of the technical downhills, because then the rest of it doesn't really scare you. It's more of the, am I going to slip off this rock? But
Wow, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, that sounds beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's making me want to go back to Hawaii. It's been a while for me. The kids
you need
were little.
You need a trip.
Yeah.
We'll go explore.
Yeah, I want to go do the race that you race direct. What's the name of the race that you take care of?
So mine is Mango Madness, and it's in June, and we just say it's 10 plus miles. It's the only one in the series that no one knows the course. Only I do. It's a lot of vert. It sends people through a lot of repeats. And it's the race that people love to hate. I mean, they curse me out as they get through the finish line, but honestly, the thing is always sold out. So it's just an adventure. You sign up and know that when you leave the start line, you're going to have an adventure. And I have course marshals that don't even know the course, and they just know to direct to the next section. And so really no one knows what they're in for. And then we're known for our signature rubber bands, because there's lots of repeats. So my course marshals know how many times you've been through. You get a rubber band just from Office Max that has a color, and people keep their rubber bands every year. And it's a joy for me. And I'm a graphic designer, so I make really fun prizes that all match. And it's just, yeah, it's the pleasure and the business kind of meeting. I love it.
That's fantastic.
That's really cool.
Well, I know that you have kid duty and you need to move on. So we have the Ornery Mule Stubborn 5. So we should get to that right now. So because you got to be part of our tradition and answer the Ornery Mule Stubborn 5.
Okay. Question 1 is share one thing about you that people may not know.
Oh my gosh. Wow. What do I say? Can it be a weird job or something that I had in the past?
Yeah.
Just remembered this. I was watching this funny thing called Fauci on a Couchie, and they were painting this little doll. And so I had a job where I lived in this area where these, rich hobbyists would have these airplanes, and they were like an eighth of the size of a real airplane. And they wanted a real doll to sit in the airplane. So I was charged with painting, I called them dummy heads, painting these heads. And they had to look so realistic. And he would tell me what they were wearing or whatever. But yeah, that was, I don't know. That's the only thing that came to mind.
That's a good one. I like it.
That is a good one.
Scary and strange, and they were always sitting around looking at me, and yeah. I don't think a lot of people know that.
That's probably the best answer we've ever gotten. I like that.
Oh, man.
All right. Question 2 is, what is something that you're looking forward to? Anything.
Oh, I'm looking forward to racing again. I'm sure everybody is, and it's like a broken record, but I got into Miwok and, I waited for last year and I try to do a race, go away on a mom trip and go by myself for a couple days. And so I'm hoping I get to go to Miwok. That's what I'm really looking forward to. And of course the next hurt, I really want to go back and yeah. So like everybody, that's probably everybody's answer, but
No, it's
Yeah.
not. That's good.
No, that's good. No, that's a good one.
Mhm.
All right. Number 3 is, what is like a hobby that you do besides running?
I paint.
Okay.
Yeah, I do a lot of paintings of landscapes, and I usually just give them away. But I like to do a small scale, kind of like a 8 wide, like a landscape by 5 or so, and I just put it in a frame, and they're watercolor. So I'm trying to master watercolor. So
Nice. I love watercolor. My preschool class actually used watercolors today, and they're so creative with it.
oh,
I love
I
watercolors.
love watercolor too.
Hmm. All right. Number 4 is, do you have an influence in your life or someone that you look up to?
Hmm. There are so many. I'd have to say, some of the people that live here, I'm so blessed having so many friends that have so much more experience than I do, running, and their moms, and they, handle all of it. So I think just having a network of people that are strong physically and mentally, and that you can rely on those kind of people. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Last question is, what is your favorite treat for a job well done?
Mm. Oh my gosh. Um, I would say cookies,
What
chocolate,
kind of cookies? Chocolate chip?
chocolate cookies. If I make a chocolate chip cookie and it's warm, and yep, that's it.
Good
Well,
answer.
those are
Will you
those
be
are always
making Christmas
good.
cookies?
Yeah, we were talking about that with the kids because they want to give them away to their classmates. So we'll probably do that tonight.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
fun.
fun.
They're always decorate them, and they'll come out all crazy looking, but they'll be yummy.
Yeah, I'm
Those are the
planning.
cutest ones when they come out, when they try to like frost them and they look all funky. Those are the cutest ones.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much for taking the
Thank you
time
so
to
much.
talk right in the middle of a beautiful day of in Hawaii.
Yeah, I
No.
show you. My windows are kind of dirty, but I don't know if you can see out there.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
we can see.
Holy cow.
Oh
That-
my gosh, beautiful.
I mean, like you can see the ocean and then a couple little
Yeah.
mountains.
They're the Mokulua Islands. So I've swum to them before. They're probably almost a mile away. So it's really fun, and lots of coral heads, and you get it on a good day. You can see the bottom, and yeah. So the Mokulua Islands are just off. Everybody kayaks, so you can kayak out there.
Yeah.
Of course they do.
I think that we can't like road trip Crystal there because it's not a road trip place. I think we're gonna have, as soon as flying's available, I need to go out there.
Yep. It's getting closer and closer. So yeah, I'm hopeful.
Well, thank you. I want, I'm thinking about you and all your friends out there running, and we have a Strava club, the Ornery Mule Racing Strava Club, and we're in a battle right now with the Trail Gangsters from Flagstaff, Arizona. We're in a vert challenge with them. We need all your friends to join us because that's the only way we're gonna get some vert.
I'll join you. I'll go on there and join you.
Okay, well, good. Yeah, so Rory and Nick and all you guys in Flagstaff, we got our secret weapon now.
We'll try our best.
Yeah, well, thank you. You have a great evening. I really appreciate you taking the time. It was good to get to know you over this COVID year, even virtually. And
Thanks for all you do. It was great to meet you, and great to meet you, Crystal.
You too.
And yeah, thank you so much for everything that you do for the community. It's super important, and I really appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
So, bye everyone. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Take care.